Hello Aces and welcome back to another video. So, in this video, I am going to be showing you 10 builds that I have to bring to you guys within hopefully the next couple of weeks. So a lot of these builds are of airplanes and what we usually do. However, there is one in particular, one build, that is very new that I have yet to show. So I'm sure you guys will be excited for that. And there's a couple of the builds that I have that are redone as well. Like I have them already uploaded, but they're redos of it. So I will be coming out with those, and it'll kind of almost be like a replacement for the other video. So like the older version. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into the 10 builds. Okay, so for the first one, we got the little Bumble B2. That's the name of this little aircraft here. It is considered one of the world's smallest airplanes, and it's a very, very simple build you can do. You could probably build like multiple of these in like an hour or so, or even like a half hour. It's a very, very simple build, and you will not have any difficulties completing with this whatsoever. So anyways, let's get on to number 2. Okay, so for the second build, this is the Lear Jet 35. It is a little private jet that you can build to put on an airport, or you can have it in the air, or whatever you want to do with it. It's got a full interior, but I will be showing it to you in the tutorial. And yeah, it's a pretty easy little plane, so you shouldn't have any troubles completing it. And I think it will look really nice, especially if you put some colors on it. So let's get on to number 3. Okay, so for build number 3, this is the one that I wanted to show you guys, the one I've been mentioning earlier, that this is the new one. So if you've been following the channel for a while, we've been doing airplanes, tanks, we've also been doing vehicles, like cars and stuff, and other military vehicles. But one area that I have left out is ocean stuff, so like ships and submarines and all that stuff. So this is my first vessel on the channel, and this is a Japanese World War II mini submarine, and it's a very, very easy build. I decided to go with a very simple one. So yeah, this will be my first naval vessel. I will be starting to get into some boats and eventually larger ships, but you're gonna have to wait for that. So anyways, let's move to number 4. Okay, so for build number 4, we got the Antonov AN2 biplane. So this was the first aircraft that was manufactured by Antonov, and it's a pretty ancient looking plane, judging by the time period it came in, because this plane flew in the 1950s, or was manufactured sometime in the 50s, or late 40s at least. And by then, pretty much every other country was using like two-wing fast fighters, or big 4-engine bombers. But the Russians decided to just use a biplane. So this plane did, and of course they were developing their own jet aircraft and everything. This was just a little transport plane. But this thing actually did serve in the Vietnam War, and it did transport a lot of like troops and stuff to the battlefields and everything. So it's a pretty interesting little plane. And the fact that it's a biplane, it's pretty ancient. So yeah, it'd be a cool little build to do, and you can have this in the air, or flying, or flying above forests, or even just on a little airport, or in a little display for like a museum or something. Who knows? But yeah, so this is the AN2. Okay, so for build number 5, we got probably one of the most well-known tanks of the Second World War. We got the M4 Sherman. So this is an American medium tank, and it was one of the most mass-produced tanks of the war, and it was a pretty decent tank when it saw service, and many of them were built and also used by many different nations as well, such as Canada, Britain, and I forget what other nations used them, but there was quite a few others that used the Sherman. And the Sherman was even upgraded several times. This is basically the standard Sherman. This is just the first production M4s. But obviously you got the Sherman Firefly, which is the British one. You got the Sherman Jumbo, and then you got the Kailopi version, which is basically the one with a huge missile launcher on the top. Well, like rocket launcher, I should say. But this is based off the standard version. I will eventually be coming out with the other ones. So But yeah, it's a cool little tank, and yeah, it should be a pretty interesting little build. Okay, so for build number 6, we have the Sopwith Camel. So this is a World War I fighter plane, and it was one of the best fighters that Britain had during the war. And it's a cool little build. It will add to my World War I collection of planes, because I do have quite a bit of them already. So yeah, it's a nice little addition, and you can and I do have the Fokker DR1 as well, which is the German triplane. So you can make this dogfighting that thing, because these two actually did see each other in combat. So yeah, this is a nice little aircraft. Okay, so for build number 7, this one is not a plane or any like a tank or anything. This is actually a vehicle. This is the 19. Let me just get the year right. 1972 Land Rover Defender Series 3. So yeah, this is a British vehicle that was built by Land Rover, and it does actually have an interior. So you got the driver's seat here, and then you got a pretty a lot of room in the back area. So but yeah, it'd be a cool little vehicle that you could build like on a road if you're building a city or a town or even a countryside. This would be a perfect build for it. Now it is missing the headlights and tail lights. It does actually have it, but because of MC Edit not liking item frames, it took them off. So, but in the tutorial, you will see a complete version of it. So it'll have the headlights and taillights. All right, so on to the next one. Okay, so remember, if you look on my tutorials and you go, or you look on my videos and you go to oldest, you'll find one of my first tutorials I released. Well, I don't think it was my first one, but I released the Beachcraft 1900D. Now that one is a very old video, and the design is very outdated and needed to be redone. So I have went ahead and redesigned the Beechcraft, and this is the new version of it. So this one is much bigger because it's a 2:1 scale now, and you get more interior space in it. The wings are completely redesigned, and it just looks better overall. So yeah, it looks very nice, and I'm looking forward to building this with you guys, and hopefully you'll find some good use for it. So, and this is, by the way, one of the bigger. We're kind of getting to the bigger planes, but not completely bigger planes. But this is probably the second largest build that I have right now in this world, in this little video I'm showing you. The next one's the largest one. Okay, so for build number 9, we got the Bombardier Challenger 601. So this is a Canadian-built plane, because obviously being a Canadian, I have to add a Canadian aircraft into this. So this is the prototype plane for the Bombardier, well now Mitsubishi CRJ series, and also the Global Express jets, which are built also by Bombardier. So yeah, it's a very cool aircraft. This is basically like, yeah, the prototype for those. So you can easily turn them into the CRJs and everything. But I will be coming out with the CRJ tutorials as well, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, so it's a cool little aircraft that you can have. You can make a private jet out of it, and it does have a decent interior space. I believe it's like a 5-block, or you get a 3-block wide interior inside of it. So it's enough to create a nice looking interior, and you can make it look like a nice private jet and everything. So now we'll get into the last build. Okay, so for the last build, number 10, we got the Messerschmitt Me262. So if you look on my channel as well, just like the Beechcraft, this was one of my, I did make a 262 tutorial, but it was very old and outdated design, and I don't even really think that looked too much like a 262. It looked somewhat, but I did a lot of errors on it. This is a brand new version of the Me262, which I find looks a lot better, and this is actually one of my favorite builds out of all the ones that I've showed you. So this is this is basically just another redesigned aircraft, and this is the 10th one you'll be seeing coming out. So as you can see, it does look pretty cool, and it actually looks a lot more like a 262 rather than the old one. And one other thing you can do as well is, when I do come up with this one, is build this one, and then build my other one and compare them and see which one you like better. I personally like this one. I'm pretty sure this one will be so much better than the other one, but yeah, so that is the last one. Okay, so these are the 10 builds that I am putting out for you guys. So hopefully you guys are excited for a couple of them. Let me know which one you are excited for the most. Or do you think I could have chosen a much better list? But yeah, let me know which one you're looking forward to. And I do have to mention, there is actually an 11th build. But I'm not going to show it to you guys just yet because that's a bit more of a surprise one. So you'll have to stick around for that. You have to stay tuned for that. So, but anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this little video. Like I said, let me know which build you're excited for the most, and whatever you want to see on the channel, please let me know because I'll be happy to maybe even try new things on the channel as well. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.